Welcome to the program. This is the Gavel, and I am Benny Ogg. After what seemed like a marathon of budget defense sessions with ministries, departments, and agencies, on Tuesday, the upper chamber reconvened plenary. Here's how it went down.
The upper chamber reconvened plenary on Tuesday after a marathon of budget defense sessions with ministries, departments, and agencies. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, read President Bola Tinubu's request for confirmation of the appointment of 11 Supreme Court justices.
Request for confirmation of the appointment of 11 justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Pursuant to Section 2231, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, I hereby present for confirmation by the Senate the names of the underlisted 11 appointed justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Honorable Justice Jumai Hanatu Sange, OFR, North Central. Honorable Justice Stephen Jonah Ada, North Central. Honorable Justice Mohammed Baba Idris. Honorable Justice Haruna Simon Zamani, Northeast. Honorable Justice Jamilu Yamawa Chuko, Northwest. Honorable Justice Abubakar Sadiq Umar, Northwest. Honorable Justice Chidi Ebere Nwaoma Uwa, Southeast. Honorable Justice Choma Egondu Nwosu Iheme, Southeast. Honorable Justice Obande Festus Obuya, Southeast. Honorable Justice Mo Asimo Adumen, South. Honorable Justice Habib Adewale Abiru, Southwest. Please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest considerations. Yours sincerely. This is signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and dated 13th day of December 2023.
Former Minister of Labour and Employment is then sworn in as the latest member of the 10th Senate.
I, Simon Bakola Long,
do solemnly swear
that
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
The President of the Senate subsequently declared vacant the seats of Senator Dave Umahi of Ebonyi South Senatorial District and Senator Gaidam Ibrahim of Yobe East, following their assumptions into office as members of the Federal Executive Council.
This declaration is in accordance with Section 68, subsection 1D of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999. Following the assumption of office as ministers of the government of the Federation by the previous occupants of those two seats.
After plenary, the Senate commenced screening of the 11 newly appointed justices of the Supreme Court.
The 10th Senate, and indeed the 10th National Assembly, is a responsible and responsive assembly to the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians that are clamoring for the legislature to jealously guard and protect the independence of the judiciary by ensuring that their welfare is adequately provided for, that they should insulate the judiciary from a scenario whereby they go cap in hand to the executive begging for funds to operate. And it was against this background that even in the current exercise of budget consideration, the Judiciary Committee had cause to suspend the consideration of the budget of the judiciary to invite the Minister of National Planning to show cause why the judiciary is not adequately funded, and we have gotten assurance that something better will be done. So we assure you that even after your confirmation by this committee, ceteris paribus, that will go forward and make sure that the necessary environment is created for you to discharge your constitutional mandate without let or hindrance, and to jealously guard and protect the independence of the judiciary, because anything contrary to that is an invitation to chaos and anarchy. So we assure you that this exercise is going to be done in accordance with the rules of the Senate and also in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, and we are going to collaborate closely with the judiciary with a view to bringing about the necessary reforms in our laws that are obsolete. And in that regard, the Senate has already passed a resolution to the effect that this committee should liaise closely with the Office of the Attorney General with a view to reviewing our laws and then bring them in tandem with realities of today. Laws are supposed to be organic in nature and therefore always change in accordance with the changing nature of society. So in that regard also, we are going to work closely with the judiciary to reform our laws to bring justice seamlessly to the doorstep of our people.
These positions did not all become vacant in one day. I recall with a sense of patriotic pain how much this committee had to wait, even after some names had been sent by the National Judicial Council. And the committee had to wait for, the Senate had to wait for several months, almost 9 months, for the names to be forwarded, for whatever reason. Either because they felt they'll see one person or the other that should make that list. Today, 11 people. My hope and prayer is that in the Supreme Court already, we don't have a clique of a class of 8. I pray that's not happening. But please, let's not have a class of 11. As these vacancies occur, it's important that those who are next in line be screened and appointed immediately. That's my appeal. And then to the federal government generally, I also want to say that what's happening here today also has its financial implications. And the budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria must speak to it. Appointment of judges comes with certain fiscal responsibilities. They must have offices to work, they must have accommodation, they must be able to do their work with the basic paraphernalia of office, including their vehicles. So let it not be that after this exercise, the NJC will now be saddled with the responsibility of having to run from pillar to pole to ensure that my lords are able to settle down. And then, of course, to the entire public, who also, I know, will be interested in what's going on here today. What we are doing in the Senate through this committee is the final round of the confirmation process. Screening had been done thoroughly by the Federal Judicial Service Commission. So between FJSC and the National Judicial Commission Council, a lot had been done. So we are not here to begin to look into the circumstances of birth of any of the nominees, the manner of judgments they delivered in the past, and all that. that is a professional and technical thing to be done, and that had been done by those who are saddled with that responsibility. So let no one be surprised that these names were read today on the floor of the parliament. They were referred to the committee, and by tomorrow, this committee is expected, by the grace of God, to submit its report back to plenary. It's because we know that major screening had been done, including even security screening by the Department of Security Service, by the police, and all those relevant authorities. So this point I thought I needed to make. And to the committee itself, I also say, do have a good one, by the grace of God. This is the only committee of the Senate where every member is a professional. Every member of this committee is a lawyer.
On Wednesday, during plenary, a debate ensued following the submission of the report of the screening of nominees by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, chaired by Senator Tahir Monguno. The lawmakers eventually approved the report of the committee and confirmed the nominees. The Senate subsequently adjourned plenary to December 29. In the meantime, the Senate Committee on Finance began its budget defense for the Corporate Affairs Commission. It soon became a steamy session when the committee realized the Registrar General had yet again failed to appear in person.
Corporate Affairs Commission appeared before us when we were doing the MTEF. The Corporate Affairs Registrar, the first day was not there. We gave him another day. He appeared that day. Director of Finance, you are here. We saw discrepancies. We asked you to go and come back because of the excuses you gave. We said, go and amend. You have your bookkeepers. You know what the financial regulations of this country is. We asked you to report back. You never did. I have cause to ask the Secretariat to send you a letter. You appeared here, and when you came, you said the DG just fell ill. I excused you, expecting that you are going to come back with those documents we requested. I had cause again to ask them to write, and now you are appearing before the RG. You are the custodian of the finances of Corporate Affairs Commission. We saw discrepancies. How many entities do we have registered in this country? How many? How much were you reporting then? And you are taking us with levity. I'm invoking section 89 subsection 2 and directing the Inspector General of Police to mandate the RG of Corporate Affairs Commission to appear before the Committee on Finance of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria within 24 hours. I so ruled.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Gavel. With continued controversies over the national air carrier, Air Nigeria, the immediate past Minister of Aviation, Mr. Hadi Sirika, was invited by the House of Representatives on issues bordering on public accountability. Let's take a look.
The House of Representatives on Thursday resolved to invite the immediate past Aviation Minister, Hadi Sirika, over the controversial national air carrier, Air Nigeria. In a motion sponsored by Rep. Takigar Dixon, the House noted that in 2016, Sirika proposed an aviation roadmap with the national carrier as a signature project, aiming to deliver to Nigerians by the end of former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The House is worried that issues of accountability by public officials must be taken seriously. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has extended the implementation deadline for the capital component of the 2023 budget from December the 31st, 2023 to March the 31st, 2024. This follows the passage of the Appropriation Amendment Bill 2023 and the Supplementary Appropriation Amendment Bill 2023 on Thursday. Both bills were fast-tracked through the second reading and third reading.
Honourable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 21st December 2023. I now invite the chairman, Rules and Business to move that the House do suspend the relevant provisions of the standing orders, enable the House commence and conclude debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2023 to extend the implementation year from 31st December 2023 to 31st March 2024 and for related matters. Chairman, Rules and Business, are you here?
The House of Representatives has called on universities and other tertiary institutions to adopt a semester-based school fee payment system to enable students to cope with the current economic situation in the country. This followed a resolution on a motion moved by Honorable Saad Tura during plenary on Thursday. Lawmakers believe that adopting the payment system can minimize the financial strain on students, improving access to higher education, and create a more transparent financial structure for institutions.
Also note that the current annual school fee payment system in Nigeria presents financial challenges for the students and the families, given the recent subsidy removal, single window forex policy, among others, the recent increments in the tertiary institutions across the Federation. Urge the tertiary institution to adopt the semester-based school fee payment system. That's number one. Number two, also urge the Federal Ministry of Education to work closely with institutions and the stakeholders in the education sector to provide necessary support for adopting the school fee payment system.
Also, the House of Representatives on Thursday passed through third reading the bill seeking the establishment of the Southeast Development Commission. The House unanimously adopted the recommendation of the bill during the Committee of the Whole chaired by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Benjamin Kalu. The House has now adjourned till the 30th of December.
Today on Constituency Focus, we speak with Senator Shuaibu Salisu from Ogun West Federal Constituency. In a brief but clearly expressed manner, he tells us of his goals as it affects his constituents.
What have I done in the last 6 months or so that I've been here? First, from the perspective of my constituency, number one of the first thing I did was to do training for our youth. We have a large percentage of Nigerian population that is youth. And therefore, the first thing I did was to do training for 50 selected youth for almost 2 weeks across the 6 local government of Central Senatorial District. Not only did we train them, we also provided them with tools, particularly a laptop. And what makes this project different is that we're not just giving them tools or giving them training, we're doing a follow-up. So they've been given the training, they've been given a laptop, and they've also come back in a few months to showcase what they have been able to do, because it is the continuous process. The second thing in that area as well is that I've been able to attract a few ICT centers. So there's an ICT community center that will be formally unveiling very soon in Abeokuta. And we have also done 2 ICT centers in 2 secondary schools, one in the local government, the other one in the local government, as part of creating opportunities and platforms for the children, particularly the secondary school students, to learn about the ICT skill. That is a new learning. That's the new knowledge, particularly in an area that the global competitiveness of nations is no longer determined by the amount of minerals under the soil, but by the assets that your citizens carry in their head. Therefore, we are catching them young. We are doing this. But we also need to speak to the issue of sustainability, particularly the issue of climate. Recently, the whole world gathered in Dubai to talk about climate change. We also recognize that, particularly for our women. So we're done training for over 300 women for them to be aware about the individual responsibility to maintaining a very conducive climate that we can pass on to the next generation. So these 300 women, they were trained on the impact of burning forests, the impact of using firewood instead of gas, and they've also provided with cooking gas materials in order to move them away from activities that could impact negatively on the climate to things that are sustainable. These are some of the things we have done within the constituency, but on a global scale, on a national scale rather, 65-70% of our population is youth. But we have, even with the best efforts, we can't get employment for all of them in one fell swoop. What do we need to do? Someone has read pharmacy, has read computer science, has read medicine. He has graduated, he has served. There's no job. A few things happen to him. Number one, he doesn't have a productive engagement, so it's idle, it's available. For those of them who might not be strong enough, they're available to do things that are, if you like, against social norms. Number two, they're also losing their skills. You graduate, you don't have the skills. You don't have an opportunity to practice the skills. Number three, you also don't have a stipend. So their confidence themselves, the dignity of the school, the education they've had, begins to be eroded. So this bill seeks to achieve two things. Number one, if somebody has studied mass communication as an example, and the Minister of Information does not have a permanent employment for him, or the channels of this or of TVC, they can afford to have him on internship. Maybe 3 days a week. And it's based on stipends. What this does is, number one, we will have a national database of people who are looking for employment or are underemployed or underemployed. As the saying goes, if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it.
That's our time on the program this week, and we would love to hear from you. Send us an email at thegavel@channelstv.com. Until the gavel comes your way next week, same time, here is wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas. I am Benny Ark. Be well.